I think that it would be important for me to talk a little about my experience with depression. Okay, hello and welcome to my channel. I feel like it's important to not only post videos where I'm like really happy and feeling great and looking my best, but also to like be super real, because I think this channel is more than just like having fun. It's also about like having an outlet to talk about things that are important to me and that I personally think could help other people. Currently, I am looking like a mess. My eyes are swollen and I have no makeup on, and my room is a mess, as you can see, and it's like late at night. I think it's like probably 11 o'clock, but I just wanted to sit down and like film for, I don't know how long I will film this for, but I am feeling very sad, and that's so okay. I think that it would be important for me to talk a little about my experience with depression. I think it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, especially publicly in this format that I'm currently doing this in. But I think that it's important for people to understand that it's not something that just you alone deal with, and also that it's like super okay to be depressed. I have struggled with depression for a very long time. When I was in 6th grade, I was extremely depressed. I like hated everything about myself. I didn't want to wake up in the morning. I didn't want to leave my bed. I felt like I was completely by myself. And that was terrible. It was probably the worst time period in my life. It took me a very long time to get to a point of learning enough about myself to love who I am and to understand that it's okay to not be happy all the time. People who do not have depression or anxiety walk around thinking that those two things are being nervous and sad. And while yes, those two feelings come along with depression and anxiety, that is not all that it is. I do know how I feel, and I know enough about like myself to be able to maybe not explain it perfectly, because I can't explain anything exactly how everybody feels it, because everybody goes through different things, but I can sit down and talk about how I'm not okay all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Today I had a great day. I went to go see one of my really great friends where she lives at college, and it was great to see her. And then I came home and dealt with things that were frustrating to me and overwhelming, and all of my feelings at once like clouded my head. I came home and just things that upset me happened, and instead of being able to just be frustrated and move on like a lot of people can do, everything overwhelmed me and I felt like I couldn't think for myself. It's almost like if you name depression as a person, and this is gonna sound crazy how I'm gonna explain this, but maybe this could help somebody. I don't know. Like, if depression and anxiety were a person, and when you are feeling something so extreme and upsetting, instead of like being able to like feel those feelings and brush them off after you've dealt with them, it's like this person comes back and just tells you every single thing that is upsetting you for the past like year, and puts that in your head until like you feel like there's nothing else going on in your head except for all of the negativity and distress that you can imagine. And it's very hard to just push that away. And that is a very complicated way of explaining things, but that is what I just experienced like less than an hour ago. I was sitting on the couch and I just couldn't handle my own thoughts anymore, and not being able to control how you think or what you're thinking, or keep under control what you're thinking is a better way of explaining it, is extremely overwhelming. It makes you feel like you can't like get your own mind and body in a state of being okay. And although I do have depression and anxiety, it just does not mean that everything I've just explained right now is exactly how people deal with it or how they feel things, because everybody is different and everybody's minds work differently and everybody's feelings process in different ways. It's not something that is so easily talked about, but I feel like it should be, because people who, such as myself, people who feel depressed and anxious and deal with that should be able to express these things so that people around them can understand and empathize with what they're experiencing. I don't want to make this video and people be like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, and like feel like they need to feel bad for me, because I'm in no way putting myself on the internet for people to sit here and think that I'm wanting attention, because I'm not. The reason I'm putting this video on my channel is because if anyone watches this that feels in any way similar to how I'm feeling or struggles with similar things, and this can help them to feel either not so alone, not insane, or just maybe understand how they're thinking a little better, then like that's all that would matter to me. Because I know from personal experience, struggling with these things can feel like you don't know how to verbalize how you're feeling sometimes, and that is part of the reason it's so overwhelming and upsetting, which is kind of what I dealt with today. Is that I feel like when things get very overwhelming and upsetting, it's scary to talk about it, and it's scary to reach out to somebody that you know will care about you and listen, but like you don't know what to say because it's so hard. It's so okay to not know what you're feeling. I just think that if I'm gonna be starting this YouTube channel, that I want to be completely honest and real with how I present myself. While I want the future of my channel to be fun and for me to show fun things that I do in my life and show when I think I'm being funny or when somebody else is being funny or when I'm around friends or family, I want that. But I also want to be myself, and part of myself is, part of being my raw, real self is showing that I struggle with depression and anxiety, and those are things that I have to deal with every day, and sometimes that would be me relearning to love who I am even when I can't conceptualize what's going on in my head. I think it's important to show that on my channel too, because I think so many people deal with that, and so many people don't know how to talk about it, which is totally okay, because sometimes I don't know how to talk about it either, because it's upsetting and it's confusing. It's so confusing. Oh man, I don't even know if any of this video is making sense at all. It's okay to not be okay. I'm going to talk about those things. I'm going to talk about the fact that depression and anxiety are real things that people deal with, and I'm one of those people. And also, I am religious, and I am a Christian, and I believe that God put me on earth to experience hard things so that I can help other people experience them as well, and maybe help them to maybe not feel so alone, maybe for them to understand things that they didn't understand about themselves, maybe just, I don't know, I don't know what God thinks, but I do know that I am a Christian, and that I believe that in the end I'm going through this experience to learn more about myself, maybe to learn more about others, and to grow in my relationship with God. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. I don't know if it's here or here. Either way. If you want more videos like this, let me know. If not, that's okay, because it's kind of sad sometimes. But it's okay to be sad. So, yeah. Which is what we've learned from this video. I really appreciate it if you are watching this video. Thank you for listening. I hope that this maybe helped not only myself, but somebody else. I will see you next week with another new video. I look like a hot mess.